Welcome to the CBS Sports Spectacular. We have a lot of racing action on tap for you from the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And this telecast is presented by Toyota. We're in the heartland of America, Wheatland, Missouri, just about 2 hours south of Kansas City for the 19th annual Rockstar Energy Drink Show Me 100, presented by Dart Machinery. Right here in Wheatland, Missouri is one of the most beautiful racetracks you'll find in this country, and it's called Lucas Oil Speedway. And it's our pleasure, Ken Stout and Rob Klepper, to bring to you, for the first time here on CBS, the Dirt Late Models. The Super Lates are in the house from the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and Rob, as you very well know, this is tough racing. NASCAR-style racing, if you will, because it is on an oval track, but they're on the dirt. They make some big-time horsepower, and the competition is fierce. And some big-time drivers, folks. We're talking about the best of the best drivers. 81 entrants here to run for one of the biggest events of the year, Crown Jewel, the Show Me 100. 100 laps, $30,000 going to the winner. But you look at this event and compare it to NASCAR, they have Daytona. IndyCar, they of course have Indianapolis. This is one of the biggest events all year long. Everybody wants to win this race. The stands are packed. This place holds a lot of people, and they're all here to this little town of Wheatland, Missouri. You're going to hear terms like elbows up on the cushion, the gutter rat line. If you run down low, that's like having a job. That is grassroots dirt late model racing, and it's going to be fun here tonight. The lingo itself is entertaining, and we'll help you out with that all along throughout the show. Now, we also need to talk about the points, because this is a points-paying event for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and the top five are in a fierce battle as well. That championship is up for grabs, and it's far from over. Yeah, the top five in points right now, folks, if you look at them, they are all veterans. We're talking about drivers that have been doing this for 20 years plus. Right now, Steve Francis, fifth in the points. Then you got Don O'Neill, four-time national champion Earl Pearson Jr., and Jimmy Owens, currently second in the points. But here's the thing. None of those drivers have won this event. The Show Me 100 just goes to show you how tough it is, how much competition there is for this big event. Everyone wants to take it home, but the man that's leading the points, Scott Bloomquist, our current point leader, well, he's won it more than anybody else. And he's also won more races than anybody else so far this season. He's kicked off the 2011 tour in a big fashion. He wants to continue to dominate. Standing down there with him right now is Dave Argerbright. Dave?
Thanks, Ken. Scott Bloomquist is indeed a five-time winner of the Show Me 100, but not here at Wheatland. Scott, different racetrack than those five victories. What do you need to do to win this one tonight?
You know, normally this racetrack's real unpredictable. Tires have been a big game. Everyone's pretty much on the same tire this weekend, so you know it's just going to come down to race car and driver, and you know I think we've had what it's going to take all weekend. We just need to stay out of trouble here early, you know, try to work our way to the front, and I think we can do it.
You're going to roll off the grid here in just a moment. How long before you know if you've got the car you need?
Yeah, it's probably going to be 25 laps, maybe not even that. So we'll see. You know, it's. I just got to see how easy it is to keep up with guys, and then see how much room there is to pass. So once I get that figured out, you know, if I can, I'll make some charges early though.
A big late model race. Everybody's got to watch the Zero. Scott Bloomquist. Let's go back upstairs.
He will be exciting, to say the least, as we look at thousands of people, some 20 different states represented here, because this has such a tradition. Let's talk about these cars, Rob.
Very awesome race cars, 2,200 to 2,300 pounds. They produce 8 to 900 horsepower in that V8 power plant. Now, if you take that all the way back to the rear tires, Hoosier or American Racer, you have a 14-inch wheel, 11-inch tires, a lot of power to try and get to the ground with these dirt late models.
On the other side, for the drivers, they sit very low. It makes vision very difficult. They have no mirrors, and they have no radios or spotters to help them. The only thing they'll have inside there is what's called a race-ceiver, and that's from race control in case there's a caution flag on the track. Well, 1 year ago, it was Steve Casebolt who turned out to be the heartbreak kid. And Kelly Snyder, he missed winning this race by just 10 laps.
That's right, Ken. Here is Steve Casebolt. Steve, last year at the Show Me 100, you almost pulled off the win, but nearly 10 laps to go, you had driveline failures, and it ended your night in a disappointing way. But we're back here again. You said this is a race you've always wanted to win, but you're starting a little bit further back. Do you think you can pull it off today?
I think there's a chance. We came from deep in the field last season. This track's usually very good, racy. Last year's race was it's a total disappointment. We kind of felt like we had that one in the bag and had the mechanical failure, but we're just happy to be here, and Lucas Oil Speedway is always a great place to come to, and we love coming here, so if I could get a Show Me 100 win, that'd be fantastic.
Well, guys, he worked his way up from the back last year, and he said if he can do it in 2010, he can pull one off in 2011. Ken?
It would be sweet redemption for Steve Casebolt. Well, let's take just a couple of moments and walk you through one of the race shops of one of these very competitive teams, and nobody better to do it than the two-time Show Me 100 race winner and Hall of Famer, Ray Cook.
Hi, my name is Ray Cook. Welcome to our shop in Kingston, Tennessee. This is a really nice shop that they have built for us to work in. We're fortunate to be in it, and we have a lot of room in here to work. Makes it real easy to get the cars ready. This is probably our oldest car that we have. This is a car that we've had the most success with. It's the one we won the Show Me 100 with, the Hillbilly 100, the Shootout. So you're probably wondering why we're not going to race it tonight since we've won all those. But you know, we're constantly trying to keep them all one as good as the other.
Trying for his second win, his second career Show Me 100 from Brasstown, North Carolina. The Tar Heel Tiger will get it done here at Lucas Oil Speedway.
After we practiced Thursday night, we was pretty bummed, to be honest with you, because we was so bad. But we just kept working and working, and you know, by the time hot laps come on Saturday, we had made our car to be one of the most consistent cars there. We didn't have the fastest car. You know, there was guys, Jimmy was fast at the beginning. Of course, Casebolt was fast at the end. But I think if you average our lap times for that whole 100-lap race, we was as good as anybody, and that's what it takes in a long race, is just a good, consistent car.
And Ray's hoping he can make it back-to-back wins here this evening. Well, it's time for the most famous words in racing, and to help us out with that is series announcer James Essex and Bud Keating. Let's get it down to the starting line.
Drivers, start your engines.
Ah, yes, and there is the rumble of 800 to 900 horsepower times 30. They are all fired up, and we are ready to go racing. When we come back, we'll get things started here with the 19th annual Rockstar Show Me 100, presented by Dart Machinery.
CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Rockstar Energy Drink Show Me 100, sponsored by E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. Toyota. And by General Tire. Unleash the Fury.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil Speedway. It's known as the Diamond of Dirt Tracks for the 3/8 mile dirt oval, but added to the complex is a brand new racetrack. It's designed for drag boats. The top fuel hydros will exceed speeds of 200 miles per hour on that water. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Welcome to the 19th annual Rockstar Show Me 100, presented by Dart Machinery. It is a cool and crisp night, a beautiful night for racing. These things will make some big horsepower, and the drivers are second to none. How about the fans, though? Yeah, they're out in force, and they are having a blast, Rob, and rightfully so. This is one of the most beautiful sights in all of motorsports as they go 4 wide on the parade lap.
Yeah, the salute to the race fans. This is what it's all about. 30 drivers from 18 different states, 4 former Show Me 100 winners in the field, and the fans love it. It's electric here tonight. You can see the AcclaimedZone.com Chevy Camaro out in front pacing the field.
Well, you mentioned it before, Rob, some 81 drivers showing up here this weekend to try and make it into this field of 30. This is the elite group of everybody that's shown up, and hats off to everybody that's made it this far. Here is your Rockstar Energy Drink starting lineup. On the pole is Chip Brindle. Alongside your Redbuck Cigar, quick qualifier, Jimmy Owens. Row 2 is Dan Schleifer and Brian Burkhofer. Row 3 is Dale McDowell and Jared Landers.
Row number 4, Darren Miller alongside Eric Wells. Row 5 on the inside, your current Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points leader Scott Bloomquist and Tyler Reddick. Row 6, the 4-time Lucas Oil champ, Earl Pearson Jr. and Don O'Neill.
Let's go back to row 7. We find Kent Robinson alongside Mike Marlar. Then on the inside of row number 8, it'll be Scott James and Steve Francis. Row 9, Chris Brown alongside Steve Casebolt, who came so close a year ago.
Inside of row number 10, former Rookie of the Year John Blankenship alongside Jonathan Davenport. Ronnie Lee Hollingsworth inside of row 11 alongside former Show Me 100 winner Terry Phillips. Bub McCool inside row 12 alongside Tony Jackson Jr.
Let's go back to row 13. We find Dennis Erb Jr. alongside Al Perkey. In row 14, it's Brad Neat and Jesse Stovall. And row 15 rounds out the field with Ray Cook, your defending race champion, and Chris Wall. Those guys using the provisionals to get into the field. 30 cars ready to go as they come through turns 3 and 4. Chip Brendel will pick up the throttle. Ladies and gentlemen, the green flag about to wave here on the 19th annual Rockstar Energy Drink Show Me 100. Side by side, Chip Brendel leads them around here in the first circuit. On the outside, Jimmy Owens in the number 20.
Yeah, Jimmy Owens already going top shelf. That is the high part of the racetrack, trying to build that momentum. As 2 and 3 wide racing and a new shot, folks, in dirt late models from the Lucas Oil helicopter. Going to be bringing us some great shots all night long as we see a great battle already for the lead.
And that is a wonderful shot. You can see how much longer it is around the course when you take that high line, but you get to keep your momentum up. These guys do it very, very well. A great battle for the lead, but now it looks like Jimmy Owens, known as the Newport Nightmare, as almost all of these drivers have a nickname, is just part of the color of the sport. The Newport Nightmare has a good run and takes over the lead.
Down into turn number 1, NASCAR fans, Clint Boyer Motorsport teammates, the 17M of Dale McDowell as we go on board with General Tire. This is looking out of the back on his teammate, the 777 of Jared Landers.
Both of those cars equipped with Earnhardt Childress power plants under the hood. You talk about big names in motorsports, they don't get any bigger. Again, on board with Jared Landers and the 777 currently in 6th place, but it's a long race, Rob, as we talked about. And a lot of these guys will settle in and just kind of bide their time, except for maybe him. He'll back up to the front, and he is already checking out.
Yeah, very smooth race driver Jimmy Owens out in front. Picked up a series-leading 10th, top 10 finish most recently, moving into 2nd in the championship points as we eyeball our current point leader and now go on board with Scott Bloomquist.
And Scott Bloomquist kind of settling in here, said he would make a charge early if he could. His caution flag comes out, and Al Perkey is in trouble early here.
Al Perkey, the multi-time Lucas Oil MLRA champion, current point leader of that series, a co-sanctioned event here tonight at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Well, this will give us a good opportunity to get our fans up close and personal with one of these amazing cars. And Dave Argerbright's going to help us out. Dave?
Thanks, Ken. These cars are often referred to as super late models because they're the most sophisticated, the most powerful, the most expensive of all the cars like this that race on dirt. The first thing you notice is this bodywork. A big, wide, flat nose pointed to the ground gives the car a great arrow cut through the air. But under that bodywork is where you see the real sophistication of this race car. Overhead valve engine, V8, unlimited carburetor, horsepower estimated 800. A 2-speed manual transmission provides power to the rear end. When you get to the back of this car is when you really see the sophistication. This car is the most adjustable, most complex rear suspension, actually helps turn the car through the corners. The most exotic rear suspension in all of racing. In the very back here you see this fuel cell filled with racing gasoline, 114 to 116 octane, 22 gallons. The real thing about this car is the cost. These things are about $75,000 each. That means when you look at tonight's starting field, you're going to look at $2 million worth of rolling stock out on the racetrack. Serious cars, and this is serious business.
Great job, Dave. As we get ready to restart here, this is called a Delaware double file restart, where the leader is rewarded as he is out front by himself, but everybody else goes side by side. There's a lot of thought process going on. There's a lot of peeking and banging going on, as well as Dan Schleeper works his way to the front.
Well, Dan Schleeper using that high line to take the lead from Jimmy Owens, as Owens will fight back on the bottom line. You can see this racetrack tonight as we go on board, and deep in the field now, trouble. Bub McCool out the back of his car. You see the 56, that is Tony Jackson Jr. as he comes to a stop, and I believe Ken possibly collected the Intimigator. Chris Wall will take a look at it one more time.
Oh, and you can see, Tony had a great run right up there on Bub McCool. And I think Bub McCool had to check up just a little bit for a car in front of him. Unfortunately, Chris Wall collected up in that incident as well. Dave Argerbright, one of the most critical decisions made here tonight will be tire choice and what you do with them.
Tires are always a big factor here in dirt late model racing. This is a basic tire. This is what they look like when they begin. This is a tire that's been grooved here crossways, but also siped. You see these little small tiny cuts here. That allows the heat that builds up in these rubber blocks to more effectively dissipate. Even with siping, the thing you got to be careful of is to overheat the tire and it begins to blister like this right here. As this 100 lap race wears on, we're going to see who's done the best job of tire management.
Another great job, Dave. And yeah, if you blister those tires, those rear tires, they get like ice. You just have no grip whatsoever. We start them one more time here with the E3 spark plugs. Running order up above, lap 9 of 100. And Dan Schleeper is out front. Dan Schleeper using a Scott Bloomquist built race car. Jared Landers back there, currently in 7th place. And you can see these guys are busy. Top shelf, bottom shelf, they're all looking for clean track.
They have done a great job to prep this track here tonight. It is tacky fast, it is smooth, no ruts out there, plenty of racing grooves. As we look at Don O'Neill, the real deal, one of the veterans in the series. He's finished second in points on 2 separate occasions. Very fast here 1 year ago, just couldn't get the win.
Jay Dickens power underneath the hood for the 46-year-old Don O'Neill, and is always solid. He's really had a solid year coming into this particular race. He's always pounded around in the top of the points looking for a championship.
You can see right there, 3, almost 4 wide as they come off turn 4. That is Steve Casebolt. Kelly Snyder talked to him at the top of the show. Heartbreak 1 year ago, and Casebolt really trying to turn his year around. It has been very tough for the Rockstar Energy Drink Makita Pool number C9. No top 10s. He ended up 18th 1 year ago, and he's very excited about this event. He thinks this night can turn his year around.
Steve Francis, they call him the Kentucky Colonel, another veteran out here at 40-plus years old, comes out of Ashland, Kentucky, has won some of the biggest races in dirt late model racing, including the World 100 and the Colossal 100, is chasing points here with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series as we watch a battle for the lead develop, and it looks like Jimmy Owens is kind of biding his time.
Yeah, good run so far for Dan Schleeper, your leader, but you're right, Jimmy Owens looks like he has a little bit faster car. He's kind of playing some games. We saw him go to the top shelf, work the low line, makes Schleeper kind of wonder where he's going to go.
And as we said at the top of the show, they don't have radios inside of the cars. They don't have spotters to help them out. But believe it or not, they really have a great feel for whether somebody's on the outside of them or on the inside of them. As you watch Don O'Neill down there on the bottom, and Chip Brendel, unfortunately, has gone backwards as Scott Bloomquist works his way to the front.
Yeah, Scott Bloomquist, the only driver in the history of the Show Me 100 to make all 19 feature events, an average finish of about 5.7. So when the big money's on the line, Bloomquist knows what's up here at the Show Me.
Back up for this battle for the lead. Pro Power underneath the hood of the number 9, Dan Schleeper, and Owens is all over him. Owens now, he drew him down to the bottom. He was on the bottom a number of laps, and now Owens has gone back up to the top. That's where he's going to get his momentum. That's where he was at the start of the race. And look for Jimmy Owens, a Newport Nightmare, to go right back around Dan Schleeper if he keeps this up.
Well, they say running the bottom in dirt late model racing is like having a job. And here we go. Down the back straightaway, Schleeper still able to hold him off, but it looks like the Newport Nightmare is a little bit faster. That car's good down low, and it's good up on top as well.
It's a beautiful night when you have a race car that'll handle anywhere you want to put it. They're all chasing the Newport Nightmare. There's a look at your Geico Top 5. Welcome back to the 19th annual Rockstar Show Me 100 presented by Dart Machinery. We're at Lucas Oil Speedway, the diamond of dirt tracks in Wheatland, Missouri, for the 100 lap Show Me 100, $30,000 to the winner, and a great battle for second place between Brian Burkhofer, Jared Landers, and Dan Schleeper.
Yeah, it looks like Berkey there in the 15B just got by Dan Schleeper. You see that 7 car. That's actually the 777 of Jared Landers as he's almost into the fence. But Brian Burkhofer, very successful here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. 2-time he has won the Diamond Nationals, and he is our most recent winner with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series as he picked up his first win of the year in Burlington, Iowa. And
if you go back to 2009, he also won the Show Me 100. He is a tough competitor, knows how to win the big races. One of them down there on the bottom. You can see the other competitors up at the top as Jimmy Owens just goes right back around the outside of Brian Burkhofer as he's picking his way through lap traffic, and this is where the driving talent really shines. We have a caution flag. It looks like Mike Marlar is in trouble and pulling off of the track. The number 36 car will peel off. We'll see if he comes back on for competition to try and earn some points, but this will give us an opportunity to talk a little more about Jimmy Owens, as he started off with very humble beginnings, but has turned it in to something very, very successful.
Oh, so now for years and years, this is where we raced out of, right here. During the winter, they'd let us move inside here to the other side where they had a fire and stuff built, but you know, we raced out this lean-to forever and ever, and then we got to graduate to the carport over there, and that was a lot more open. It didn't leak near as much or nothing like that, so there's the dash panels off of our modifieds. All those wins are 1 year. This here's our old engine shop right in here. We just, back in the modified days, we built a lot of motors in here, David did, and it looked pretty much just like this. It always has. And I'm gonna take you a quick tour of my shop. We're good to go, ain't we? Guys are over here pulling an engine out of the car. We keep all of our main cars right in here in this area. If we got any serious work to do, we'll do it over on the fabricating side. And people like collecting trophies. I like collecting these little checks here. And I've gave a lot of my trophies away, but I don't think I've ever gave a check away. Trophies, this is North-South 100. This trophy here we won, passing Earl Pearson on the next to the last lap there. That was really, really fun. This here it's not normal in most race shops, but you know, Nathan's a part of our racing, my son, and he's got his own little corner right here, and it's kind of piled up right now, but when he gets here, it's gonna be scattered from one end to the other. He's pretty crazy. My life is racing, I guess, since Nathan came along, and I like hanging with him as much as I can. Nathan, you gonna go help Uncle Chris on the race car? But, you know, we take him when we can. He's a little easier now. He can entertain himself, and, you know, it's just really something. We've got some little phone videos of him. We're going Go Daddy Go, and they sent me those, and it about brought a tear to my eye. It's pretty cool.
Jimmy Owens is a great guy, second in the points and chasing that championship fiercely. But how about little Nathan? He already had one of those Makita tools in his hand, and he was ready to do some work.
He's going to start making chassis adjustments here in the next couple of years, but his dad doing a great job tonight. Once again, out in front as we are back underway. Keep an eye on the ticker up top as we work lap number 28 of 100.
This is what it's all about, and we've got one up high looking to use the cushion, and I believe that was Jared Landers, and boy, he got up there, and you kind of live and die by what they call the cushion. There's a soft spot, a little ledge up there that they can get some traction off of, and if you jump that ledge, if you will, then the car gets very upset.
Yeah, you can see as we talked about just how smooth this racetrack is here tonight, starting to slick off a little bit. What we mean by that is they keep running in the same groove around the racetrack. They'll wear the dirt out and it will get dry slick, and that's when we see everybody bunch up as this track will change lap by lap. Jared Landers there bouncing around on the top shelf.
They call that cowboy in the car. Oh, and it looks like he collected Don O'Neill as the yellow number 71 tried to sneak by him as well. We'll have another look at it. And they call this cowboy in the car. Elbows up, and he gets into the ruts or that cushion that we were speaking of before. Unfortunately, he wasn't going straight enough. He was going sideways, so it upset the car, and then he got into the side of Don O'Neill. And as long as he didn't cut that right rear tire for Don O'Neill, Don should be fine. Aero-wise might hurt him just a little bit, but looks like he's okay for now as he gets up into the same stuff.
Scott Blomqvist in the 0 car trying to reel in Dan Schlaper, and of course Don O'Neill right in front of that battle as they go side by side through turns 1 and 2.
We'll be right back with more action after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the 19th annual Rockstar Show Me 100 presented by Dart Machinery here on the CBS Sports Spectacular. And Don O'Neill, the yellow number 71, is making a bid for the lead. He's put that thing up there on what they call the top shelf, and he is chasing our race leader Jimmy Owens and now has surpassed him.
our third different leader in this year's Show Me 100. Don O'Neill finished second 1 year ago. He led 51 laps. So this veteran of dirt late model racing knows how to get around the Lucas Oil Speedway.
Over 50 career feature wins for the number 71 and finishes high as second in the points in this series on 2 different occasions back in 05 and 06. As we go a little deeper in the field in this battle for third place, here comes Scott Bloomquist.
Yeah, Bloomquist on the outside gets around Brian Burkhofer. Again, Bloomquist in the 0, Berkey in the 15B, and Jared Landers hanging out behind that battle as he hangs it off the top shelf. Landers loves to run the outside part of the racetrack. Won a big race 1 year ago, the Topless 100 in Batesville, Arkansas.
Scott Bloomquist there as well, using Roush Yates power as you take a look at Jared Landers. But watch the number 71. That yellow car is up high and making some steam. He knows what it's like, and it's very difficult to win a 100-lap race, even with the best of preparation. You need a lot of experience. You need a little bit of luck. We had a chance to talk to Don O'Neill about what it takes.
100 laps around this place is a long time. I mean, you know, the racetrack conditions are going to go, you know, we really don't know what we're going to have yet. And hopefully we'll have a good race car, you know, in the start, and you just have to ride a wall, you know, not get way behind, but sort of stay up front and be around to the end, because if this racetrack gets rough, there's not going to be a whole lot of cars finish. And, you know, we just have to wait and see, but it's going to be a good race, whatever we do.
Oh, and that was a great save right there as he ran right up behind the 7-hour of Kent Robinson.
Yeah, Don O'Neill now having to work through the lap traffic. These guys are racing for position as O'Neill tries to put him a lap down. As we go back to Ray Cook, the defending winner has worked his way up from deep in the field. A 3-car battle for the 12th spot. Him and Casebolt banging wheels as they exit turn 4.
Yeah, and Casebolt too, also starting very deep. Casebolt with a Rockstar Energy Drink Makita back machine is working his way up to the front, but I think you said it best. Ray Cook just seems to have a combination here. He had a tough weekend coming into the A main, had to use a provisional, but now has made the most of it. Steve Casebolt with a lot of speed as we go back to our leader in the 71 car.
The flag number 23, that is John Blankenship, as he gets put a lap down by Don O'Neill. As we go back to the 3-car battle again for 7. Brown Miller and Dale McDowell. Again, McDowell driving for NASCAR star Clint Boyer, as he is right behind Darren Miller, working the low line, and the caution comes out one more time here on lap 47.
And the caution is out for Bub McCool. Unfortunately, some front-end damage for our Quartermaster Rookie of the Year points leader. Take a look at the right front here. You'll see it is not going the right direction. Let's get it down to Dave Argerbright to help us out with what this problem is.
Earlier in the race, in fact, right after the start of the race, we saw Bub McCool in the work area where the crew was reaching underneath, trying to find a problem with the front suspension. Bub apparently felt something in the steering of that car, knew something was wrong. We saw a moment ago he was parked. That broke right here. This is a tie rod end that connects and steers the front wheels. When that broke, he had no steering. Bub's night is over.
We go back out to the track, and Don O'Neill brings them back around for the restart. Up high, dives down low, stands on the throttle. Scott Bloomquist right behind him, and Jimmy Owens on the outside. Scott Bloomquist, the 0 car, and Jimmy Owens, the 20 car. Both of those built by Scott Bloomquist.
Scott Bloomquist first in the points, Jimmy Owens second. Bloomquist winning 2 titles with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and Owens finished second both those years.
Well, and speaking of race winners, how about Brian Burkhofer? He won this event in 2009. We spoke to him about it.
Well, it's been such a pinnacle race. You know, a lot of the superstars of the sport have won it, so to get my name, it's always been a kind of a dream, is to get your name on the back of the T-shirt, you know, for the next year, the following year, throughout your career. So that means a lot. I mean, I've won a few big races, but the Show Me was always one of them big ones that, you know, if you win that one, maybe you're going to be somebody in the sport. So I guess that's how I look at it.
It's definitely one of the crown jewel events, is what they call these big races, as we watch the battle for 6th place.
Chris Brown in the 21X, of course, running in the top part of the racetrack. Darren Miller, the Thriller, in that 32, and of course Steve Casebolt there in the C9. Those guys have been going at it for a while and kind of swapping the spots and working this racetrack. It's changed a lot as we approach the halfway point, starting to slick off real low and up on top. The middle, kind of what we call no man's land, where you don't see a lot of guys run, is still pretty good around the racetrack.
Look at Steve Francis there as well, who's also chasing points this full season with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. The number 15 car, they call him the Kentucky Colonel, has had so much success in this industry over the years. And you said approaching the halfway point, we are at lap 50 of 100 as you watch the C9 of Steve Casebolt just pick up the position there from the Thriller. By the way, it's great to have Darren Miller back out here. Took a couple of years off as we go back to the lead.
Yeah, it looks like Jimmy Owens has reeled in Don O'Neill. O'Neill limping around there on the top shelf trying to get it done. You can see a little damage to the right rear. But Jimmy Owens is slowly reeling him in. As we said, very fast here 1 year ago. He's fast once again here tonight.
One guy we have not mentioned is the four-time series champion, Earl Pearson Jr., and Kelly Snyder is with him.
Well, Earl, this is not where I wanted to talk to you. Forrest Lucas had you picked to win this thing. What happened out there?
I don't know. It was pretty good early on with the Lucas Oil car, but we got up to like 8th or 9th, and we broke something in the rear end. I don't know. We can't do nothing with it now, but we just went out there and rode around much as we could just to get some TV time, and that's all we could do.
Guys, a disappointing ending here at the Show Me 100 for Earl Pearson Jr.
Tough break for Earl Pearson Jr., and I'll tell you, it is tough to make the race out here. We had a chance to talk to a couple of guys about what it means just to make the A main.
Well, I'm just glad to be in the show. I think if we get our car right, we'll be okay. Casebolt proved that last year, starting 26 and coming to the front, so hopefully we can get our car as good as he is.
Basically, it's just who's got the best car, who's not going to get tired the soonest. It's all about not getting tired and just being patient, not making mistakes.
And that's Tyler Reddick, the 15-year-old phenom, the youngest to earn a pole with this series, the youngest to win a heat race, the youngest to lead feature laps, and earlier this year, the youngest to pick up a feature win. And that's the dirt track dominator. The champ is coming.
I'm your two-time defending Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series champion, Scott Bloomquist. Stay tuned for more door-to-door action after the break.
Welcome. That run this series. They do an incredibly good job. Run a very efficient and tight ship.
Back up front, Don O'Neill, still your leader in the yellow number 71 MagnaFlow exhaust sponsored car. He took the lead on lap 38 from Jimmy Owens, but guess what? The O Show is right behind him. Very fast, very smooth race car driver running in second as we are under 20 laps to go.
Well, more importantly, he goes to the inside of Eric Wells, the number 18 down on the bottom, and Eric Wells slams the door on him. That's where Eric wanted to go, and that's going to cost him the lead right there. Jimmy Owens goes around the outside of Don O'Neill, and we have a new leader.
Well, if you can use a lap car as a pick, that's the true definition. So Jimmy Owens laid back, let Don O'Neill mess with the lap car, said, I'm going to the top shelf. I'm going to drive right on by. Let's look at it one more time from the helicopter.
Don O'Neill, the 71 down on the bottom. And you can see he was leaning on Eric Wells, and if he could have turned Eric Wells around right there, caution flag would have come out. He would have kept the lead, but he did not. Consequently, Jimmy Owens takes over the spot. It is tough to make the A main, but even when you make the A main, it's not uncommon for this series to throw you a curveball. Dale McDowell explains.
Well, they chose to invert 6. All the heat winners had to draw an oil can, and whatever number was on the bottom of the oil can is where we actually started the race tonight. So I start 5th. Thought, if they haven't had the draw for the invert, I'd be front row outside. But it is a 100-lap race, and they're going to do track prep stuff, so it's going to be exciting for the fans. Just have to work a little bit harder.
Dale, a tough competitor with a rocket-built chassis. Earnhardt Childress power underneath the hood. And, of course, this car owned by Clint Boyer. You mentioned that before. And Chris Wall, Chris Wall just cannot stay out of trouble at this racetrack between turns 3 and 4 as Don O'Neill just drives right into the back of him.
Yeah, and as he did that allowed Scott Bloomquist to get by O'Neill, take second. But as O'Neill gets back underneath him off turn 2, caution comes out once again.
We'll see what brings the caution flag out here for our competitors as we go back and take a look at the number 20 car. It is Jared Landers. Unfortunately for Jared Landers, he will not have a shot at winning this one, even though he was in the top 5 when he backed it into the wall. Well, we have 12 laps of racing left. It's going to be a shootout at Lucas Oil Speedway, and you don't want to miss it. They dropped the green flag on the restart of the 19th annual Rockstar Energy Drink Show Me 100 presented by Dart Machinery here at Lucas Oil Speedway. The number 71 car was out front. That is the house car from Masters Built Chassis driven by Don O'Neill, but now it's Jimmy Owens who's back out front, and the two-time and reigning champ, also the winningest driver of this event, Scott Bloomquist, is sitting in second and ready to pounce.
And another driver ready to pounce. It looks like Steve Casebolt started 18th to the inside of Don O'Neill and Chris Brown in the 21. A four-car battle. Nose to tail down in turns 3 and 4. We're coming to under 10 laps to go. This is getting good.
Chris Brown with a great run up through the pack out of Houston, Texas. Roush shades power into the hood. They call him the big ticket as he is hanging around the top 5 late. Brian Burkhofer in the number 15. They call him Berkey, but up in front of him, how about Steve Casebolt making another late race charge like he did 1 year ago, and the Rockstar Energy Drink car, could he pull it off? Could tonight be the magic?
We go back up front. Jimmy Owens, as we go on board with E3 spark plugs, and check out the O-Show, one-handing it, using the left hand only. That's how you get it done.
We're going to have to change his nickname to the one-handed bandit. All right, Steve Casebolt, we talked about him before. Here he comes with the C9, and that car's looking great right now. Steve Casebolt, a former Rookie of the Year of this series. Back in 2006, he's just one of those small teams that has been picking his way up through there. He's won a couple of big races, but tonight would be exceptional.
And Don O'Neill now getting passed by Chris Brown for the 5th spot. So O'Neill, who had led a lot of laps in the middle portions of this racetrack, maybe his car fading out, maybe the tires are going away, and he is losing spots with just 6 laps to go.
Back up to the front, Jimmy Owens and Scott Bloomquist. And these two guys have battled fiercely over the past couple of years for the championship. They are doing so once again. Jimmy Owens second in the points in the series. Scott Bloomquist leading in the points, looking for his 3rd consecutive championship. But right now, Jimmy Owens has the upper hand, and it looks like he might be able to pick off this win.
Yeah, and he is running very smooth around the top part of the racetrack, through the ruts, through the holes, and keeping that 20 car about 3 to 4 car lengths in front of the 0 Scott Bloomquist. But if you look at Bloomquist, the 5-time winner of the Show Me 100, the driver that has never won here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Owens, of course, won the Diamond Nationals 1 year ago, but Bloomquist has never won at this racetrack. Could tonight be his night?
And as you watch him through turns 1 and 2 right here, Scott Bloomquist looks perfect right through the center of the turn, and this is where he gains on Jimmy Owens as we go back to Steve Casebolt, who's really trying to pick up on both of these guys with 3 laps to go. Steve Casebolt's car looks great. It might be just too little too late, but it's Jimmy Owens who's really good through 3 and 4.
Yeah, right now Bloomquist, I think, is maybe hoping for a caution to close this thing up and bunch it up with 2 laps to go. But guess what? White flag is coming out. 1 lap to go. Can the O-Show hold off the 5-time Show Me 100 winner?
Don't count out Scott Bloomquist just yet. Over 500 career victories. He'll need all of that experience coming into turns 3 and 4 for the last time. Oh, and Jimmy Owens goes high, pushes up tight. It opens up the door for Scott Bloomquist. No, Jimmy Owens will hang on for his first Show Me 100 win. Congratulations to the O-Show.
Jimmy Owens runs 99 and 7/8 laps, perfect. The last corner, the last lap, jumps the cushion, allows Scott Bloomquist to get underneath him. It looked like Bloomquist could have flat out ran him in the fence, but he didn't do it. Nice, clean race. What a great finish here for the 19th annual Rockstar Show Me 100.
And everybody on their feet. This, the final turn. And you can see right there, Scott Bloomquist driving right up beside Owens, who opened up the door. Owens with just a small bobble, but kept his composure and hung on for the win.
Jimmy Owens' 2nd Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series win of the year. 2nd on the all-time win list, just behind Scott Bloomquist, and he is trying to reel him in that chase for the 2011 title. Here is your unofficial results, courtesy of General Tire.
Just a quarter of a second between 1st and 2nd place. Boy, talk about a tight race at the finish. Congratulations, though, to everybody in this field. Just making the race is quite an accomplishment. We'll stay with us. When we come back, we'll go down and talk to Jimmy Owens. He's just won the 19th annual Show Me 100.
Sports Spectacular presents the Rockstar Energy Drink Show Me 100, sponsored by Dart Machinery, winning races for 30 years. Rockstar Energy Drink, the world's most powerful energy drink. And by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
And Jimmy Owens climbs on top of the car, the winner of the 19th annual Rockstar Energy Drink Show Me 100. Let's get it down to Dave Argerbright, who's with him.
Thanks, guys. I'll tell you what, you look like Batman jumping off that car. You might have a second career. I'll tell you, you're a guy that likes to keep his emotions close. But I know this race right here is one you very, very much wanted to win. Tell me about your emotions.
I tell you what, you know, my crew, they've it's been such a huge help with Mike Reese and I can't even thank all my sponsors right now, but this is huge. I mean, you know, all the folks out in the world, NASCAR ain't never got nothing like this. I mean, dirt's where it's at. You know, I got to thank all my crew for working hard all weekend and you know, just give me the confidence to get out here and wheel this thing and do what we need to do. And
I got to ask you, Jimmy, Scott Bloomquist is your friend. You guys use a Bloomquist chassis. He's also an intense competitor, as you are. That last run in the corner, do you like racing with him in that situation?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of good drivers out yonder that you can depend on. And, you know, we race with these guys night in and night out. You know what to expect from each driver as it's happening. So, you know, that last corner, I could see that we had a decent lead, and I just got up there and bobbled a little bit, but I was getting pretty teared up. I mean, you know, we've won some big races, and to win in front of the world like this is just tops on my career.
You did it, man. You won the Show Me. Time to celebrate.
We just add this, and hopefully we'll keep on winning from here. Thank you, guys.
Jimmy Owens, a great win here at the Show Me.
Well, Scott Bloomquist, you've won this race many a times, and you almost had it right there at that last turn. What happened at that last lap?
Well, you know, the top was the place to be. You know, we hadn't really tried the bottom yet, but our tires, I'm pretty sure, were a little harder than his. Just took me way too long to get going, you know. We finally got going where I could pull down through the middle in 1 and 2, and then we decided that was the last shot at it. You know, we tried to go ahead and go to the bottom and, you know, made a little run at it. If I could have got a little farther, we might have had to pinch him a little bit. You know, Jimmy runs good. He runs our cars. You know, it's good to. If it wasn't me, I'm glad it's one of our cars.
Well, from 9 seconds, the number 0 of Scott Bloomquist.
A great night for both of those tough competitors. Let's take a look at our point standings now from E3 Spark Plug.
Still a 120-point lead for Scott Bloomquist over Jimmy Owens. Owens actually gains 20 points in the chase for the title. Mike Marlowe and Francis now in the top 5.
Let's go back down to the winner's circle.
I got to say, Steve, that was a great run. You were right there at the end. You know, this season's been a struggle for you. Is this the night that it just turns around and you really get it going?
I don't know. I hope so. It's no secret that we haven't been running the way we wanted to run. Come on in, girls. But Rockstar and Makita, everybody stuck with us. Had a great run tonight for them on TV, so that's great. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for my team. I don't know. We'll see what happens, see what the future brings, but we definitely were fast tonight.
What a difference a year makes. It's great to see a smile on his face at the end of the race. Well, there's a look at our next 6 events with this series, and we'd love to have you come out here, maybe even join us at the Lucas Oil Speedway for the 5th Annual Diamond Nationals. For the entire schedule, make sure you go to Lucas Dirt.